You're watching the Mic Check, on every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to this week's Mic Check. Today, we have a really special guest with us, Domingo Castillo. Now, Domingo is a Chicago-based voice actor with nearly 3 decades of experience as a full-time working professional. He has 23 years of experience as an adjunct professor at Columbia College Chicago, teaching in the broadcasting/communications department. In July of 2020, he started his own workshop of online voiceover classes at domingovoiceover.com and has since hosted over 70 sessions. He has enjoyed the last 25 years as a full-time professional musician/band leader, performing as many as 125 dates annually. Domingo can be heard as narrator on The Moon and Beyond, a documentary commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing, which aired on Discovery Channel China and won the 2019 Asian Academy Creative Award for Best Documentary, and as the voice actor on Sony Australia's 2020 movie trailer campaigns for Vin Diesel's Bloodshot and Mila Jovovich's Monster Hunter. He's currently represented by Lily's Talent of Chicago and TrailerVoiceArtists.com, and with his wife's help, has cooked and eaten every single meal at home for the past 383 days. Now, Domingo, how did you manage that? I can't manage a week straight. I just do that for over a year.
Yeah, fortunately, with my wife's help, who's very health conscious, we just commit to cooking, just cooking at home. You know, we're not really that. We're not pros. We we make mistakes, but you know, we take turns, and we've eaten every meal at home, and boy, do I miss Portillo's. I miss I haven't had French fries in over a year, but eventually I'll come back. But I've enjoyed eating healthy for the last year, so I have my wife to thank for that.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that in and of itself is an inspiration to all of us, but the time is now yours. We'll go ahead and hand it off to you.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate when people take time out to hang with me. Everybody's busy, and I respect that. Let me take a little an unofficial attendance here, because I have an email that you sent me, Michael, with 6 names. And I made note of that, but I'm not sure if we have all 6 of those people. Let's see. It looks like Andrew. Okay. I have Jake. I have, is it Andrea or Andrea?
It's really either or, but
okay.
I go by Andrea the most.
Great. Actually, when I call your name, let's just give me a mic check so I can make sure I have you. So Jake, you're first on my list by chance. So just let me make sure I have your audio.
Yep. You got me.
Thank you. And Andrea or Andrea, either. Thank you. Russ is not with us.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, forgive me. Russ. Thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you. I have Devin.
Yes, you do. She's muted.
Oh, please unmute. I just want to make sure we have your audio.
I pulled Richard.
Oh.
Hello.
Thank you, Devin, for joining us. I have Nathan in my list. There's Nathan.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yes, and then I have Leonard as my.
Yep.
Great. I have everybody. Good. Thank you for being here. And so as far as in my classroom, there's probably a more effective way to do this, but I ask students to share scripts in the chat so we can all read along. Is everybody okay to do that for our session today? Everybody's familiar with how to open the chat and just read it. I hope so. So I'm pasting something here in the chat for the 6 of us, 6 of you. I like to start my class with something I call the lightning round. And so everybody, please unmute. And you can go off camera if you like. That's okay too, just as long as we can hear you. I'll ask you to slate your name and then just read what I've got written below. It's barely 10 words, and it's commercial copy. So give it your commercial sound, and no judgment. I call it the lightning round because it goes by quickly. Please slate your name. And so obviously Jake will go first. He'll slate his name, he'll read, and then he's done. And then Andrea will slate her name and then go. Everybody understand what we're doing with lightning round?
Mm-hmm.
Again, no judgment.
I'm so sorry. I missed it. I had to go away from my.
That's okay.
Andrea, I missed your explanation. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Please open the chat and tell me if you can see what I posted.
Yes.
Okay, I call this the lightning round, and we all read the same script together. And I'll even go first. But you see Jake is going before you. So Jake will slate his name, and then he'll read, and then he's done. And then you're up next, Andrea. Slate your name.
Okay.
read, and then you're done. And again, yeah, give it a commercial sound. I'm not keeping score. I'm not judging you. I just enjoy doing this. And if you like, I'll go first. So it's lightning round. And I typically go, it's Monday, it's March 29th. Lightning round. Let's have fun. Everybody unmute. Domingo Castillo. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Jake Nance. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor in a superfood.
Andrea Smith. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Russ DeWolf. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Devin McPherson. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in superfood. Super flavor, all in a superfood.
Nathan Cundiff. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Leonard Bjorkston. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Nice, nice. Let's do it one more time. And let's, I want to see if I can hear each of you smiling. I'm going to keep my eyes closed for all of your reads. I just want to hear if I can actually hear you smiling. And again, I'll go first. And from here, I'll stay out of it. But Domingo Castillo. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Jake Nance. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Andrea Smith. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Russ DeWolf. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Devin McPherson. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Nathan Cundiff. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Leonard Bjorkston. Blue Diamond almonds, super flavor, all in a superfood.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, my question to the six of you, who is ready to go first with their script? If you're prepared to paste it in the chat so I can read along. And I don't care who goes first. Some people are ready and some aren't. Typically, this is where I reach for my coffee. So whoever's ready to go first, please raise your hand.
I have my scripts on the other computer, so sharing it in chat here is going to be a little difficult.
Okay, I saw Jake's hand come up. Jake, were you ready?
Yeah, I can.
Are you capable of sharing your script in the chat so I can read along?
Actually, we've got that covered on our side.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it sounds like.
Okay, so check that
okay.
link, see if it links over to your scripts. I'm pretty sure it does.
Okay, I'm going to click the link. Boom. Safari. Okay, great. So.
Oh, good Lord, my computer's freaking out. Hang on.
That's okay. We've got 5 other people ready to jump in. But Jake, I'm going to scroll and look for your script. I see. Let me make sure I have this correct.
Yeah, that's mine. I had them pulled up elsewhere, but I wanted to make sure I was looking at the same thing you were.
Okay, I see one page. And so this is your script, Jake?
Yep.
Okay,
I've got, they told us to send in 2, so I'll go with either one. You tell me.
You know what I'm not even going to read the spec. Is it simply the 4 lines where it says VO? Is that what you're reading?
I'll do that one. Yeah.
Okay. And so, oh, I see. Forgive me. These are 2 scripts, Light Life and then State Farm. So, okay. Give me 2 takes of the first script, please. And I have it in front of me, so we won't use the chat for now.
Okay. I mean, don't want to get too hot, so let me gain down a little bit here.
You're good. Your levels are good.
Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door. Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry! Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry!
Your second take's already better. Give me take 3 when you're ready.
Okay. Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Come on, Jerry. take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry!
So Jake, my question to you already, take one it was a starting point. Take three is already so much better than take one. Are you nervous?
No, you said give me 2 takes, and so I was trying different things with
Okay.
each take.
Okay. I felt like your take three had so much emotion. I felt empathy for your character, and I like that. Typically in my class, I take one and take two sometimes are just kind of to get the words out, and then once you get warmed up, then we really start to get somewhere. I love the emotion that you were putting into take three. Now I'm going to read the spec. Because I typically don't. I just want to be affected by your performance. So now I'm going to the top. Funny, unique character voice, kind of freaking out. Okay. To heat a bland and bad frozen dinner. The microwave is pleading. Good. Yeah, pleading. I like the so pleading, the whiny, come on. I like that. I love that you did that in your third take. A hand setting down a bowl with frozen food. Okay.
I love that you were just talking about spending so many days eating healthy. This is what we lead with.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Okay, I already have an idea. So for your first line, which is one word, and you're saying the name, can you say it almost as if you were woken from? All I want is one word, 2 syllables. Say it as if you were woken from sleep.
Okay. Jerry?
Yeah. Now give me another one where it's a little more vulnerable. Vulnerable.
Jerry?
Yeah. Good. Once more, a little less volume, volume. Because again, you were sleeping. Huh? What?
Gotcha. Jerry?
Yeah. I like that. You wake up, you don't know what's going on. What frozen food? No. So, and then, okay. So then the second line, we have the exclamation mark. So now you're wide awake. So there's a little bit of a turn here. And this is just me asking. That doesn't mean that's necessarily the right way to do it, but this is what I'm asking. Please give me the first line in a kind of a muted energy, like you did, where we startled you, and you did it already. Beautiful. Second line, and now you're full voice because you have the line with the 2 exclamation marks. And then your third line, give me that whininess because it says pleading. Is that the word yes, the microwave is pleading. So in the third line, give me that whininess that you were nailing it. And then the fourth line, what emotion can we put there? Put a little anger in that fourth line. You're not pleading anymore. You realize this is going to happen and you don't like this. And so put anger. So these are 4 lines with 4 different energies. And I gave you a lot of direction. Give me 2 takes of that, please.
For just a real quick question for that second line, I know you want it full voice. Do you want it more determined or leading into the pleading?
Well, for the second line, I because they use exclamation marks there, I feel like it should be, I don't want you to necessarily yell, but I think to answer your question, full voice, please, if that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry!
Oh, beautiful. I know I asked for 2 takes, but I am already reacting. How did this feel to you?
It felt good. I like going through the sort of the progression. I felt like when I was doing it, I was building on the same emotion multiple times rather than turning it like that. So that felt good.
Let's do it again. Same 4 emotions, but faster, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry!
Beautiful. Okay, let's play with this third line here. The come on, Jerry, perfect. The pleading. I don't want to line read you just yet, but take a long look at yourself. You can stretch those syllables a little bit. So just that sentence. Please take a little bit more time with that take a long look sentence. Okay. And then you're better than this. You can spit that out real fast. Just give me that third line, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Come on, Jerry. take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this.
Again, please.
Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this.
Good. I like how in your Jerry, you lifted, come on, Jerry. And, like when we plead, can we go? Let's go, please. That was beautiful. Give me one last take. I love what you're doing.
Okay. Top to bottom.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry?
Yeah. Okay. Now, before we wrap up, Jake, I have a challenge for you. I've learned in acting, and this is not my idea, but I just made a note of this. In acting, number one, show up on time. Easy. Well, maybe not easy. Number two, know your lines. Whether that's easy or not, know your lines. Number three, have a creative alternate to bring to the table. The producer might say, man, Jake, you're nailing this. We're going to end early. What else you got? You got something different that's not in the specs that you can offer, that maybe an idea you had? So my challenge to you, Jake, and by the way, I'm going to challenge everybody. Give me an alternate take that's not in the spec. And you can describe it or you can just do it.
I'll just do it.
Yes, sir.
Jerry? No, that bland thing is not going inside me. Oh, come on, Jerry. Take a long look at yourself in my door reflection. You're better than this. Jerry.
Nice. There's determination. I like that. I like that. What emotion word would you assign to what you just did, please?
I would probably say refusal.
Okay, good. I like that. I said determination, but I like your word better. Refusal. Nice. Jake, thank you. Thank you for going first. I'm making a note. I want to move along to make sure to get to everybody.
Sure.
But Jake, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. By the way, I also appreciate how weird this is because you don't know me. Who's this guy who's going to tell me what to do for the next 2 hours? And so thank you for being humble and allowing me to guide your performances. So
I'm a full-time teacher. I am good to learn from everyone.
And I learned from my students as well. So I'll refer back to that in a minute, but thank you again, Jake. I've got my coffee. Who's next? Hand, please. And if you're not ready, don't raise your hand, but if somebody's ready, put my hand down. Russ. Okay. I'm going to make it here, Russ. And I'm going to click on Russ's scripts.
Or I can paste it if you like, whichever.
Michael took the time to prepare the PDF, so I appreciate that. So I'm doing it. I'm doing it this way. I like it. Farmers, is this your first script?
Yeah, that's the one I chose. It's kind of hard for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm going to close mine. Russ, please give me 2 takes when you're ready.
We care for this land. It's our livelihood and our legacy. Southern sustainable agriculture is supporting the family farm, promoting conservation, and strengthening our communities. Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future. We care for this land. It's our livelihood and our legacy. Southern sustainable agriculture is supporting the family farm, promoting conservation, and strengthening our communities. Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future.
Nice. Russ, if I were to ask you, what are a few emotion words that you would assign to this? So I've heard you read it a couple times and you've obviously proofread it. From your creative perspective, what emotions do you take from this script?
Pride.
Okay, pride. Good. What else? Give me 2 more, please.
Like heartstrings, like caring.
Yeah.
Is another good one. And let's see. I think appealing to everyone, maybe.
Okay.
It's such a generic, like anybody could get behind this.
Sure. Yeah. Pride, heartstrings, caring, empathy, feeling. I'd like you to please try it again. And I'm going to keep those 3 ideas in mind that you just gave me. And I'll ask you to do the same thing. Pride, you said heartstrings. You said something along the lines of agreeable, that everybody can get behind this concept. Please give me take 3.
We care for the land. It's our livelihood and our legacy. Southern sustainable agriculture is supporting the family farm, promoting conservation and strengthening our communities. Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future.
Nice. Let's try it again with about 30 or 40% less volume, almost not quite a whisper, but almost as if it's just you're speaking to somebody and it's a quiet room. I imagine it's almost maybe a library or a bookstore, and you're just speaking to one person. I want you to try it at 30, 40% less volume, please.
We care for the land. It's our livelihood and our legacy. Southern sustainable agriculture is supporting the family farm, promoting conservation and strengthening our communities. Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future.
Nice, good. Every time you've read the word strengthening, you've leaned into that, and I like that. Strengthening our communities. There's a concept of leaning into the verbs. It's debatable, but I like a producer may ask you to do that. So let's look at the first line where it says, "We care for our land. It's our livelihood and our legacy." Well, the word "care" is a verb, so I'd like you to lean into that word when you read that top line. And after the word livelihood, give me there's no comma there, but please put a comma there. So lean into the word care, and then it's our livelihood, comma, and our legacy. Just those two top lines, please.
We care for the land. It's our livelihood and our legacy.
Again.
We care for the land. It's our livelihood and our legacy.
Nice. Continue, please.
Southern sustainable agriculture is supporting the family farm, promoting conservation and strengthening the communities. Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future.
Give me that last line, please, again.
Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future.
I like the way you just did it right there. Now I have a question for you, Russ. You opened up by saying you struggle with this or you're having difficulty. What is the difficulty that you're experiencing with this script?
When it gets really caring, it's like I do it okay and people are happy and they say, "Oh, that's pretty good." But just from me, it's hard not to feel fake when I'm saying it. You know, like you know what I mean, probably.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. What's interesting, I didn't feel any of that. I mean, you've read it 3 or 4 or 5 times now. It doesn't feel fake to me. I think we can dial in and make it even more sensitive, but I'm not getting that. And this is the first time I've ever heard your voice, so I'm just reacting. I've never heard you speak before, so I'm not getting a fake thing. Let's reset. Let's do it again. Pretend, I don't know how long this is supposed to be, but I want you to pretend that after every one of your phrases and every one of your sentences, we're going to put imagery behind it. So after the first sentence, give me 2 or 3 seconds of silence. And even when you say it's our livelihood, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and our legacy, I'm going to put imagery in between your phrases. So I don't care if this takes 60 seconds to read, but I want you to give me a new take where you are taking your time with this. So give me, there's no time limit. I want to feel the most relaxed delivery from you. And remember to keep the volume down like you have been. When you're ready, please.
Okay. We care for the land. It's our livelihood and our legacy.
I'm interrupting you for a minute. So we care for our land, period. Give me at least 1 or 2 seconds. Give me at least 2 seconds in between before your next sentence.
Okay.
Thank you.
We care for the land. It's our livelihood and our legacy. Southern sustainable agriculture is supporting the family farm, promoting conservation and strengthening our communities. Visit southern.sare.org to protect our land for our family's future.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, a lot of coaches say don't pause that much, so it felt awkward because usually I'm trying not to pause and make it sound choppy.
Okay. Well, what are your thoughts? Not other coaches' thoughts.
Well, I mean, I hear that, it didn't feel as choppy on something like this, where you're letting the emotions sink in.
Yeah.
But it did feel a little long,
Okay.
counting to 2,
Okay.
it's like, I'm ready to go kind of thing.
Sure. Sure. If we had a full 30 seconds for this, you would probably have to space it out even more. And again, if you imagine that there's scenery, I mean, maybe it opens up with 4 seconds of farmland. Before you even speak, there's 4 seconds of swelling music. And then you jump in, not to jump in, then you begin speaking. So I just wanted to try something different. Maybe it's not a 30, maybe it's supposed to be faster. But since you've identified it, I'm now careful to listen for that fake, you use that word fake or insincere. I'm not getting that at all. And I'm sorry that somebody put that in your head, but
I
I'd
think
like
it's
you.
me that put it in my head.
Okay. So, okay. This is a perfect segue then, because not to sound cliche, but I am my biggest obstacle, but whether it's success and I'm the reason I fail, or I am the reason I succeed. Russ, you are your biggest obstacle. You are your biggest cheerleader. Get used to the idea of you're not as bad as you think. You're not. It doesn't sound fake to me. Get rid of that, because I think you have a wonderful sensitivity as I hear you read,
Thanks.
and it doesn't sound like you're trying to put on a voice at all. It just sounds like you're speaking softly, and you're believable. Sometimes I get VO students who, they kind of have that announcer thing going on. I spent a lot of the years in radio, and I still have a little bit of that. A script like this, you don't want a sound announcer. And the good thing is you don't have that at all as you're reading. So if I can offer you that compliment before we wrap up,
Thanks.
I love the sensitivity that you're putting here. So yeah, you are your own biggest obstacle. Start liking yourself, start loving yourself, start acknowledging that there are good things that you do. And I say this to myself too. I've been saying this to myself since I was in 4th grade. So I've got a lifetime of programming. So get used to, everyone has something to offer, and it's good. Everyone can do something good. And so I'm sorry to speak so vaguely, but get used to that concept. And I don't mean to speak down to anybody. I'm a student as well. I'm reminding myself of these things too.
Mhm.
Russ, thank you for bringing
It's
this.
just a human condition.
There you go. You're right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. Okay, who would like to go next, please? That's where I reach for my coffee. Oh, Devin, I see your hand. Okay, I'm going to click on Devin's scripts. I have your first link here. And I'm going to write down your name here.
Jay, just pick whichever one to do first.
Okay, it looks like I need to download it, so that's okay. Let me click on your link one more time. Yeah, it's not letting me see it, so I'll just download it and I'll look at it that way. And that's not on anybody. Maybe that's just my old computer getting tired. W.C. Fields documentary narration. It's a DMS file. I don't know what that is. Michael, I might need you to.
PDF. I can drop.
Oh, okay.
PDF.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
PDF.
let me see what's going on with that.
Sure. I'm going to open. I don't know what a DMS file is. Okay, we'll take a moment.
Yeah, okay. Devin, do you happen to have that in a different file type?
And no rush if you don't. Okay, look, you pasted it. Nice. There it is in the chat.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you, Andrea. Look at that. Is this, Devin, is this the correct script? W.C. Fields?
Oh, yeah.
We have it in the chat.
That's it.
I think it ends with the word obscurity. Is that all of it? Okay, as long as I'm looking at, I'm going to read from the chat. You can read from your document. Okay, Devin, I don't want to read ahead. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to just be influenced by what you give me. Let's start with one take, please.
Okay. He was everybody's lovable curmudgeon, a sneaky drinker, a henpecked husband, a pompous skinflint, a bumbling schemer, an inept skirt chaser. At least that is the image more moviegoers saw when viewing the inimitable W.C. Fields. The portrait was not that far from reality, and that film image was only the tip of the Fields iceberg, broken off from a massive glacier of childhood poverty, hardship, and bitterness that would have caused most in his vagrant position to resign themselves to dedicated obscurity.
Yeah. I'm going to have you read it again in a second. The same question that I asked previously. What emotions do you take from this script, from these 2 paragraphs?
Just caring for a guy who has a kind of a bad reputation, but you're going to go a little deeper into his life
Okay. Okay. So maybe he's misunderstood. You
and
said,
his trials and tribulations.
yeah,
Misunderstood, yeah.
yeah, misunderstood. Okay. So I remember that voiceover is not about having an awesome voice. It's not about nailing it in a 30-second. It's about conveying emotion. And so these are the emotions that I ask you to connect with when you read your script. So I'll ask you, what do you take from the written word? Please give me another take, and I'm going to try and keep in mind the emotion words that you gave me.
Okay. He was everybody's lovable curmudgeon, a sneaky drinker, a henpecked husband, a pompous skinflint, a bumbling schemer, an inept skirt chaser. At least that is the image more moviegoers saw when viewing the inimitable W.C. Fields. The portrait was not that far from reality, and that film image was only the tip of the Fields iceberg, broken off from a massive glacier of childhood poverty, hardship, and bitterness that would have caused most in his vagrant position to resign themselves to dedicated obscurity.
That last sentence was a lot of syllables coming out. At some point you didn't breathe, and I thought, wow, she's going to do this all in one breath.
I know.
And then you took a breath.
I actually felt that one.
Yeah, yeah. What's kind of neat about your delivery is that your read style is actually quieter than your
Yeah, I
normal
gotta
speaking.
find out where to breathe on that one.
And no, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. And so the fact that your read style is quieter, it allows you to actually use less breath. Much like a singer with breath control. If you're trying to project, you have to use a lot of that air. Versus if you speak quieter, you can kind of go longer, and also it tends to sound more sensitive when you speak quieter. I like what I'm saying as I'm complimenting you on the volume that you're using. I think that volume placement is perfect. Okay, let's dig in. We've got the first sentence, and it's a list, and typically,
Thank you.
yes, we'll dig into the first sentence. Typically, a list is 3 things, but we have more than 3 things. Show me the first sentence, and I want you to 5 things. Yes, I want you to give me a little bit of varying emotion. With you don't necessarily need to give me 5 different emotions, but with your inflection and with your storytelling cadence, treat each one of those 5 things so it just doesn't sound like the same B flat, the same note that you're giving me. And then I'm not saying you're doing that. I just want to articulate that before you read this first sentence. When you're ready, please.
Okay. He was everyone's lovable curmudgeon, a sneaky drinker, a henpecked husband, a pompous skinflint, a bumbling schemer, an inept skirt chaser. At least that is the image more moviegoers saw when viewing the inimitable W.C. Fields.
Good. You can pause, please. The lovable curmudgeon. I love the smile that you have going on in this last take that you did. You didn't do that so much in your previous takes, but when we have the word lovable, well, that's an invitation. Typically, lovable is a positive, warm, smiley emotion. And I love the way you just read it in your previous take. So please keep doing that. A sneaky drinker, a henpecked husband, a pompous. I want you to give me a little bit of a. So if I were to ask you for another word for pompous, could you give me a synonym? What another word? What does pompous mean? I don't know if we lost her. Oh, wait. Nathan, you still with me? Oh, there we go. There we go.
I'm having trouble hearing. That's why I turned off my video.
You can
So
keep it.
what
You can keep it
what
off.
did was it after lovable curmudgeon?
My question to you is, what is another word for
Oh, he's
pompous?
freezing.
Okay, that's okay. Let's wait and see if it comes back. Nathan, do I look choppy to you?
No, you look good. You're
Okay,
fine.
sometimes it's me. So
Yeah, yeah. Your network connection looks.
No, it's me.
looks
It's
solid.
my internet. Believe
That's
me, it's
okay.
me.
That's okay. Okay, we can give it another 10 seconds or so. I'm happy to wait till you come back.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Good, good. What's another word for pompous?
Stuck up,
Nice. So that's a good thing or a bad thing?
arrogant.
Good, good. So I want you to read the words of pompous.
Depends on whether you're the arrogant person or the rest.
Please read the 3 words of pompous skinflint and make it sound arrogant, make it sound bad. Just those 3 words, please.
A pompous skinflint.
I hear you smiling.
Skinflint.
Oh, again,
A
please.
A pompous skinflint.
Good, good. I wanted to treat that one a little bit with dark energy. So all I'm doing is I'm taking these 5 things and I'm asking you to just treat them a little bit differently. And that's not to say that you weren't doing that off the top. We're just exaggerating now. And these are ways that you can put personality into a list of 5 things. Can you read me the second sentence that begins with "at least"?
At least that is the image more moviegoers saw when viewing the inimitable W.C. Fields.
Once more, please.
At least that is the image more moviegoers saw when viewing the inimitable W.C. Fields.
Good, good. Can you lean into the word "that"?
At least that is the image more moviegoers saw when viewing the inimitable W.C. Fields.
Okay, this is how I heard it in my head, and it's not to say that this is the right way to read it, but I wanted to hear how it sounded when you did it. And personally, I like the way, at least that is the image, that the way you did it that way. That it's just what I'm hearing in my head. Would you please give me that bottom paragraph?
The portrait was not far from reality, and that film image was only the tip of the field's iceberg, broken off from a massive glacier of childhood poverty, hardship, and bitterness that would have caused most in his vagrant position to resign themselves to dedicated obscurity.
We need to breathe, so to resign themselves to we need to breathe somewhere. Let's breathe after the word
bitterness.
Yes, after bitterness. Thank you. Take that.
You-
It's oh boy, that last paragraph is one long sentence. Do it
I
again.
picked a challenging one for myself.
But it's just bitterness is where I want you to breathe. Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
That portrait was not far from reality, and that film image was only the tip of the field's iceberg broken off from a massive glacier of childhood poverty, hardship, and bitterness that would have caused most in his vagrant position to resign themselves to dedicated obscurity.
Good. I think I might have you breathe somewhere else, but I appreciate that because it is such a long run-on sentence, we need to find a place to breathe. A bitterness that would have caused most in his vagrant position. After position. Do it one more time. Breathe after position, and then I'll let you go. I don't mean to keep beating you up.
After
Vagrant
after
position.
what now?
Vagrant.
Oh, position.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
The portrait was not far from reality, and that film image was only the tip of the field's iceberg broken off from a massive glacier of childhood poverty, hardship, and bitterness that would have caused most in his vagrant position to resign themselves to dedicated obscurity.
Nice. Nice. You're allowed to breathe and give yourself rooms. And if it means you need to take a pencil or put a line there. What I liked about the position, the breath that you put after that, I didn't even hear it. It was such a subtle intake that it works.
Good.
So Nice. Thank you,
I've been
Devin.
practicing that. Thank
Good.
you.
Good. Yeah, sometimes I have students with slash breathing, and I'll call them out on it. So sometimes it works, and other times they're not aware of it. So I like that you've kind of mastered the quiet breath. So that's good, Devin. Who's next, please? Or
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I've got something for you. Everybody unmute. Let's do it again. Lightning round, if you're with me. And I don't care if your camera's off or not. Just unmute your mic. So you can stay off camera if you like. Okay, this lightning round. This is TV promo. This is an actual TV promo that I saw on NBC, and I think it was after This Is Us or something like that. Something that I watched with my wife. But behind this promo is up tempo kind of horn and synth music. So imagine that it's positive, and the guy's smiling throughout the whole thing. So here in the chat, if you haven't opened up the chat yet, again, the order: Jake, Andrea, Russ, Devin, Nathan, Leonard. I'd like the 6 of you to please read this. And just like we did 46 minutes ago, lightning round, please slate your name, read it, smile throughout the whole way through. And lightning round part 2, beginning with Jake, action.
Jake Nance. This week, Jimmy is back and all new with Eddie Murphy, Tom Holland, Queen Latifah, Shailene Woodley, and Aquafina. New Fallon.
Andrea Smith. This week, Jimmy is back and all new with Eddie Murphy, Tom Holland, Queen Latifah, Shailene Woodley, and Aquafina. New Fallon.
Russ DeWolf. This week, Jimmy is back and all new with Eddie Murphy, Tom Holland, Queen Latifah, Shailene Woodley, and Aquafina. New Fallon.
Devin McPherson. This week, Jimmy is back and all new with Eddie Murphy, Tom Holland, Queen Latifah, Shailene Woodley, and Aquafina. New Fallon.
Nathan Cundiff. This week, Jimmy is back and all new with Eddie Murphy, Tom Holland, Queen Latifah, Shailene Woodley, and Aquafina. New Fallon.
Leonard Bjorkston. This week, Jimmy is back and all new with Eddie Murphy, Tom Holland, Queen Latifah, Shailene Woodley, and Aquafina. New Fallon.
Nice, thank you. So one of the pitfalls that I see is when there's a list of names, I have to remind myself that all of the names should feel equal. Don't make Queen Latifah bigger than everybody. They should all be on the same plane, whether you like Queen Latifah the best or not. They should all be equal, because the producer will call you out on that. Like, why did you make Aquafina sound like they're all kind of on the same level, and every one of you did that. So kudos to you for having that mindset. Okay, everyone can mute except whoever would like to go next. Tonight's guest is coming. Thank you, Nathan. All new. So we had Jake, we had Russ, we had Devin. So I have 3 more people who would like to
I'm
go.
ready anytime.
Leonard is next. Leonard, I'm gonna put down my coffee. I'm gonna scroll up to where it says Leonard's scripts. I'm clicking.
Ready when you are.
Downloading your script. Comfortable script, new patient. Okay, I don't want to read too much. When you're ready, please give me, let's start with 1 take, please.
Welcome to New Patient Protocols for the ICU. My name is David, and I'll be your coach today. This course consists of 4 lessons, each containing an end-of-lesson knowledge check to help assess what you've learned today. We recommend that you take each lesson in order and then return to a specific lesson to refresh your learning or to focus on a particular topic. As you proceed through this course, some words will appear in red. These words are included in the glossary, which can be accessed in the upper right corner of the screen. To learn about course navigation, click the Navigation tab in the upper right corner.
Leonard, you've done this before. Your pacing is perfect for this. So I mean, well, how have you read this like half a dozen times to yourself, or have you?
No, I read it like when I was looking for scripts, I read it like twice, and that was like 5 days ago, and I haven't looked at it since.
Okay. Yeah. I love what you did. Now let's play. Do it again, please.
Okay.
Turn up if I had a dials that controlled all of your parameters, turn up a little bit of the friendliness. That's not to say that it wasn't there to begin with. I just want to hear what it sounds like if I turn up the Leonard smile knob, a little more smile.
Sure.
And if you can, speed it up a little bit. I want to see what that feels like if I turn up that knob too, speed it up a little.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome to the new patient protocols for the ICU. My name is David, and I'll be your coach today. This course consists of 4 lessons, each containing an end-of-lesson knowledge check to help assess what you've learned to date. We recommend that you take each lesson in order and then return to a specific lesson to refresh your learning or to focus on a particular topic. As you proceed through this course, some words will appear in red. These words are included in the glossary, which can be accessed in the upper right corner of the screen. To learn about course navigation, click the Navigation tab in the upper right corner.
Nice. Good. I like that too. I appreciate you speeding up. It doesn't feel too fast at all. I mean, obviously there's much more copy than this. This might be an 800-word e-learning thing or instructional thing. So we have to keep people's interests, and a client might ask, oh, can you sound conversational throughout the whole 800-word thing? I hear you're enunciating very clearly, and that's a good thing. When you say click the navigation tab in the upper right corner, I hear you're speaking very clearly. I want to hear what it sounds like, just the last sentence, as if you were talking to one of your drinking buddies, not drinking buddies, drinking buddies. So show me this, the last sentence, but you're speaking to one of your friends, your family member. You're not speaking so formally.
Okay.
Show me the last sentence.
To learn about course navigation, click the Navigation tab in the upper right corner.
Good. Do it again, less volume, please, because I feel like you're projecting.
Yep.
Thank you.
To learn about course navigation, click the Navigation tab in the upper right corner.
Okay. What you're giving me now is perfectly viable for this type of read. I asked you to give me a familiar talking to your buddy kind of sound, and it doesn't sound inappropriate at all. It actually sounds more, is authentic the right word? Sometimes with e-learning, they want you to sit up straight and sound like you enunciate, but it's sometimes too much for that. It makes me feel like it's a little exhausting. And I like when people kind of just sound like regular people and they're not, can you show me what the first, actually give me the sentence where it says, as you proceed through this course, the middle sentence there, read that again in your familiar voice, not in your sit up straight voice. Let me see what that sounds like, please.
As you proceed through this course, some
Too
words
loud,
will appear
too
in
loud.
red.
You need to,
Okay.
thank you.
As you proceed through this course, some words will appear in red. These words are included in the glossary, which can be accessed in the upper right corner of the screen.
I like that. Do it again, 20% less volume.
As you proceed through this course, some words will appear in red. These words are included in the glossary, which can be accessed in the upper right corner of the screen.
How did this less volume feel to you?
I'm fine doing it with whatever volume.
Okay.
And it was quieter than I would intuitively do it, but I don't have a problem doing it that way.
I think what's happening is the fact that you're wearing headphones is putting you into this projection mode. I just opened my eyes and realized you're wearing headphones. Are you comfortable reading just the first paragraph, which is three sentences? Can you show me what the first 3 sentences, that big paragraph? Are you comfortable taking off your headphones just for that part?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to New Patient Protocols for the ICU. My name's David, and I'll be your coach today. This course consists of 4 lessons, each containing an end of lesson knowledge check to help assess what you've learned to date. We recommend that you take each lesson in order and then return to a specific lesson to refresh your learning or to focus on a particular topic.
I have an odd question for everybody whose camera is on. I have an odd question for anybody whose camera is on. Did anybody hear a difference when he took off his headphones? If you didn't, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a little more relaxed.
Okay, yes, and Michael's nodding, and they thank you.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Leonard, you sound different when you don't have your headphones on. And what I'm trying to identify or trying to articulate is that when we're wearing headphones, sometimes we get lost in the sound of our own voice. I say this because I've done this before. In my experience in radio, I had a program director call me into his office once because we would do regular air checks. He would say, "Hey, air check your next shift because tomorrow morning I want to review it with you." And okay, great. I tried not to make mistakes, but so we're listening, and I remember he told me this. He said, "You love the sound of your voice, don't you?" He said, I remember he said that to me, and I wasn't sure where he was going with that. I said, "Yes," and he goes, and he was trying to soften me up a little bit because I spent decades on radio, kind of emoting this persona. I put on this persona, this character, and it's easy to get caught up in it when you have your headphones and it's just you coming back at yourself. The visual, he put his hands over his ears and he made this face of wonderment, like, "Oh, look at me, I sound so great." And I understand what he was getting at, and he was right. I was young and I didn't react well to it at first, but I understand where he was coming from. Leonard, in all humility, you sound great with no headphones on. I would like you to, for your own practice, try recording something, even if it's just the last 2 sentences, with no headphones, and see if you can hear the difference. Because again, sometimes 2 things: we put on headphones, we become a different person. We lean into the mic, we become a different person. If you're doing promo, yeah, you want to lean in. But if you're trying to sound conversational, or if you're doing nature documentary work, you just want to be relaxed. You don't want to lean in so much. Everybody knows who Bill DeWeese is. I've never seen Bill DeWeese ever lean in. I look at all his YouTube videos. He's just sitting straight. He's never gone like this. He's never gone like, he's just sitting up straight. So be aware of your body too when you read. Leonard, thank you for indulging me in that experiment. As I said before, your pace for this is perfect, and I like actually your softer delivery. It feels more. The word I used, I think, was genuine. So you have a great projection sound, and that sound works perfectly too. But as an alternate, you can put the familiar sound in there, and that might apply more to commercial reads. But be aware that you have that as an alternate. You're capable of that. Thank you, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next, please? I reach for my coffee.
I don't know what happened to Nathan, so I can go.
Okay, there's Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Andrea,
You
your
wanna
mic
go
is
first,
on.
Nathan?
Go ahead, Andrea.
Okay, Andrea, I'm going to click on your script. I'm going to go back to the chat. I'm going to scroll up. And because Michael has shared all these scripts with us, there's Andrea's script. Good. Click. Boom. I'm laughing because okay, good. It's the K. It's that top script.
You know it.
I've read this as a joke. It's on my YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm sorry. I already have an opinion, and that's on me because I have read this.
Okay.
But okay, let me reset. I want 3 takes from you, and take your time. That's all the direction I'm going to give you. 3 takes. Take your time. I'm going to mute myself so I don't interrupt.
Okay. For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect piece for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K. For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect piece for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K. For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect piece for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Okay. Yeah. The bottom line, you have sensitivity, wonderful sensitivity for the first 3 lines, and the bottom line, you're I don't want to say you're pushing, but you're putting a little more power. Power is not the right word. You're putting a little more energy in the bottom line, and I want you to retain the sensitivity that you've had for the 3 lines, also in the 4th line. So keep me in that the word is intimate. So keep me in that sensitive feeling zone.
Okay. For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Do it again and let me feel that you have a little bit of a smile going on. Guess who baked cookies? I think of food when I think of smile. Like, oh, yeah, my wife and I take turns cooking, and sometimes as I'm teaching, I can there's something cooking. Yeah, I want to end class because I want to eat. So I think of food when I want to smile. That's just me. I want to sense that you're smiling as you read all 4 of these lines. It can still be intimate, but it can be kind of a personal smile, please.
Okay. For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Nice. That third line, lean into the word perfect. Just read that one line.
Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for.
Again, please.
Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for.
I love that you're putting a comma right after peace. I love the comma that you put. There's no comma, but you chose. I love that decision. And that's another thing that I'm a student of. Even though there's no comma in the script, you're welcome to put pauses in there. It sometimes adds more meaning and emotion when you do that. Find the perfect piece. I'm going to line read you, and I apologize if.
No, that's okay.
Find the perfect piece. Just give me those 4 words.
Find the perfect peace.
Yeah, a little lower in volume.
Find the perfect peace.
Yeah, you're putting some breathy air in there. I love that. Your previous take didn't have that. When we put a little bit of that air, it's more sensitive, and I have that. Okay, let's do the last line. Only at K.
Only at K.
Give me an ABC of only at K. So 3 ways differently.
Only at K. Only at K. Only at K.
Follow me. Only at K.
Only at K.
Ooh, wow. It sounds better on you. I've reacted to that. Give me all 4 lines when you're ready from the top.
For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Oh, okay. The lift, only at K. So there's a thing that I'm seeing in current commercial voiceover where they kind of end on an up. So that feels odd to me. That's because I'm an old guy. But the younger generation, they sometimes go like that. Only at K, or discover for all your needs. And they end on up like that, and it sounds. You're younger. It sounds good on you when you did that. Only at K. Show me only at K with the down.
Only at K.
Good. There's the first line. You're ending the first line on an up every time, and again, it's not wrong. You're going for all the moments. I want to hear what it sounds like when you end on a down. Just and I'm not correcting you. I just want to see what it sounds like if you end that first line on a down.
For all, sorry, my allergies are acting up.
That's okay. It's okay.
For all the moments.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. The whole thing. Do it like that, please.
Okay. For all the moments. For love. Forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Okay. So we have the 3 things, all the moments, love, forever. Can you give me a lift on love? So there's 3 items. The first item, the first line, please keep that. I love that. For love, give me a little bit of a lift, and then forever, resolve. So just give me those first 3 sentences.
Okay. For all the moments. For love. For all the moments. For love. Forever.
Give me that first line a little slower.
For all the moments.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Good. Take it from the top, the whole thing.
For all the moments. For love. Forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Yeah, this is good. Again, I love the sensitivity that everybody is showing. Okay, I want you to read it as if it were a Disney. We're changing. I know it's not intimate. Read it as if it were Beauty and the Beast, something on Nickelodeon. I want to see what this sounds like. So it's bright and fun. It's not intimate anymore. Bright and fun.
Okay. For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Nice. Oh, that's fun. Now read it as if it were tonight on CSI. You know, the murderer is back again. So read it as if it's serious, like somebody got killed. I want to hear what that sounds like.
For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
So when you started reading, I went like this with my mouth. I love the determination that you have when you read that. So these are just different ways to different emotions that I'm assigning to this, and you're doing a wonderful job hanging with me. Okay, so the challenge for you, and I failed to do this with the last 4 people. Andrea, number 1, show up on time. Number 2, know your lines. Number 3, have an alternate in your pocket ready to go. And we've already done a couple. What is an alternate? So the producer says, man, you're nailing this. We're going to end early. Let's go get lunch. And Andrea, you got one more in you that's different, that's not on the spec sheet?
I think it could be, instead of intimate, maybe, I don't know, a little more upbeat.
Okay.
Fun.
Okay. Show me, please.
For all the moments, for love, forever. Find the perfect peace for whoever you've fallen for. Only at K.
Yeah. That's very positive and smiley and inviting and good. I like that. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's everybody. 1, 2, 3. No. Forgive me. One left.
No.
Nathan, forgive me. Natha.
Yes.
I'm just writing this down. Okay. So then I go to Nathan's scripts. I click. Opening. E-learning test taking. Okay. I don't want to read any further. Please give me 2 takes when you're ready. Thank you.
Okay.
Whichever one you wish. That was the first one that came up. But if you were prepared with the other one,
Yeah.
I saw the word puppy.
Yeah, I need to work on the e-learning more. I'm a character actor, so I do.
So you want to
characters
do
all
the puppy one?
So, yeah. Oh no, characters are my chocolate. I want to actually work my signature voice better. So, that's the one I'm not as comfortable with.
Okay. Please give me 2 takes of this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. This section measures the ability to recognize language that is appropriate for standard written English. There are 2 types of questions in this section. In the first type of question, there are incomplete sentences. Beneath each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases. You will choose the one word or phrase that best completes the sentence.
Oh, okay. Take 2 when you're ready. Just take a breath, reset.
Okay.
Take 2 when you're ready, please.
This section measures the ability to recognize language that is appropriate for standard written English. There are 2 types of questions in this section. In the first type of question, there are incomplete sentences. Beneath each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases. You will choose the one word or phrase that best completes the sentence.
You sound a little angry in this take, and maybe it's just a stern feeling, and that's okay. Your pacing is good. Let's try it again, and be aware that you want to try and sound inviting because you're a fun teacher. You don't want to be the teacher that people are afraid of. So, yeah, you're a fun guy. I've seen you. I remember you from 2019, and I've watched videos. So show me what this would sound like if it was fun.
Okay. This section measures the ability to recognize language that is appropriate for standard written English. There are 2 types of questions in this section. In the first type of question, there are incomplete sentences. Beneath each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases. You will choose the one word or phrase that best completes the sentence.
Okay. This fun style, there's nothing wrong with this actually, and depending on the client that this is, I mean, is this for grade school people or high school people, or depending on the age, what you just gave me could be plausible. It could be doable. Let's do this for fourth graders. Pretend you're a puppeteer. Pretend you actually have a puppet and you're doing do a character voice if you want. It's up to you.
Okay.
But I want this is for young students, young children.
Guess what? This section measures the ability to recognize language that is appropriate for the standard written English. There are two types of questions in this section. In the first type of question, there's incomplete sentences. Beneath each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases. You'll choose the one word or phrase that best completes the sentence.
Okay, that's fun. Yeah, because when we're reading for kids, we got to keep their interest. So I don't know if this is for adults or for kids. So we're just having fun, and thank you for indulging me. Okay, let's return to speaking to adults, and it doesn't mean it shouldn't sound fun. In this first type of question, show me high school. University teacher. So you're speaking to students, adults in their 20s, but be careful not to sound too stern or dark or angry. You're professional and perhaps you articulate clearly, but if we got to know you, you're probably a fun person. Even though you speak properly, you're still a fun person. Show me what that would sound like, please.
This section measures the ability to recognize language that is appropriate for standard written English. There are 2 types of questions in this section. In the first type of question, there are incomplete sentences. Beneath each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases. You will choose the one word or phrase that best completes the sentence.
Okay, good. So Nathan, I have a question for you. What you said you struggle with this. I've heard you read this 6 times now, and I want to know what it is that you're struggling with.
Well, the thing of it is reading something outside of character is kind of less than comfortable for me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm working at getting more comfortable in reading things like this. I mean, I've done television promos
Yeah.
for the TV station I work for, but at the same time, I mean, short 30-second spots versus large chunks of e-learning, there's a little bit of a difference, and I've been tapped into for narration before. So it's,
You have or have not?
I have.
You have.
I've done a couple of narration jobs for people. So,
And for that, you didn't speak in character. You spoke in a normal voice.
yeah. Well, one of them was slightly character.
Okay.
It was normal voice, but I had to sound like an authoritative scientist kind of guy, but still, a little less than the super rangy stuff that I normally do on a daily basis.
Okay. Okay. But I see, you wrote here, even in parentheses, you wrote signature natural voice, and that's the voice that you want to try and develop.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Give me the first paragraph there. Give me it in 40% less volume.
This section measures the ability to recognize language that is appropriate for standard written English. There are 2 types of questions in this section.
Continue, please.
In the first type of question, there are incomplete sentences. Beneath each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases. You will choose the one word or phrase that best completes the sentence.
I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, there's nothing wrong with this. I'm like trying to find something like why doesn't Nathan like his normal voice? There's nothing that sticks out to me thinking, oh, I can see why he's not booking. I mean, your pacing is good. I mean, we all make little mistakes sometimes. I don't care. We'll fix the mistake. We all have kind of, sometimes some of us have a little bit of I don't want to say funny, a signature way of pronouncing things. We all have a speech pattern. We all have, and that can be personality sometimes. If you look at Christopher Walken's speech pattern, what the heck's going on there? I mean, he's made a career of sounding like that, or not Leonard anyway, Captain Kirk, William Shatner, the way he delivers is almost kind of odd, but it's signature. It works. And so I think I said this to Russ, get out of your own way. There's nothing wrong. I've heard you speak before, Nathan. I've watched some of the videos and I remember you in class, and having heard you again now after a couple of years, there's no red flag that I'm getting. There's no there's nothing that makes me think, oh, he needs to work on his signature natural voice. I mean, we all need more practice. We can all get better.
Mhm.
But as I hear you read normally, there's nothing that makes me think, oh, that I have no bad reaction to it at all. So get out of your way. start uh, thinking positive things about yourself. And that's not to say that you're not doing that. I don't mean to judge and make you feel bad, but from my perspective, someone who hasn't heard your voice in a long time, there's nothing that's sticking out to me. There's no reason why you can't be successful with your signature natural voice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, it was my intention to go around twice with everybody. And if I do that, I feel like I might rush, considering we only have 44 minutes left. So I don't want to rush with anybody. Instead, I'd just like to open it up if anybody has any thoughts, if anybody has any questions. I mean, I've been teaching for a while. I've taught at the college level for over 2 decades. But what's cool is I'm still learning how to teach. I'm still making mistakes in my classroom, and I'm still learning. So I'm a student like everybody else. But if anybody had any questions, I'm all ears. This is where I reach for coffee. Coffee is a big part of my teaching.
Well, let's hear Michael.
Hear me do what?
Oh, I don't know.
Have a
Yodel.
random script?
Yodel. I do. Yeah. Okay. Here, give me a moment. I will call something up. A random
Okay.
script for Michael. Okay. Oh, this will be fun. Okay. I have this narration ready for you. I was going to do this as lightning round. As a matter of fact, we'll all do this as lightning round, but Michael will go first. I'm pasting it in the chat if that's okay.
That's totally fine.
And Michael, I've heard you read before. I know you're going to nail this. My direction to you, I want you to read this in narration style. And it's a positive thing. So this isn't a scary movie, or it's after school special, fun stuff. So I'll even proofread with you. Friday, July 12th, 2019, as the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever. Okay, no tongue twisters in there. Michael, give me a read of this, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Nice. Let's go around while it's here. So Jake, you're up next. And Jake, let me ask you, your choice. You can read it in fun after school special, or you can read it in dark, cold case files, or if this were a Stephen King kind of opening, something bad happened. So which energy? Actually, don't even tell me. Choose one and go.
Okay, I feel like I know which one I need to spend more time working on. Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Okay, that was definitely serious, possibly not after school special. I'm not sure if it was, you tell me, were you going for positive or dark?
Which is why I said it's probably the one that I need to work on more, that I was going for darker.
Okay. So if you're going for darker, let's go with one more take. And I want you, the whole time, I want you to make a fist. I don't care if it's on camera or not. You can put it on your lap. I want you to make a fist, and it's going to be uncomfortable, but I actually want you to hold this fist tight as you read the whole thing, and maybe even squint your eyes a little bit of disdain. Show me this read again when you're ready. Dark.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Good. Release the fist. The only thing that I would have you change is the word walking. You went walking, You took me out a little bit because that inflection note made it sound a little fun. Walking, but I, instead of going walk, I would go walking along. It's just kind of flat and scary. So,
Gotcha.
but this take you just did now is better than your previous scary take. And also you have a little bit of not vocal fry, but you have, when you allow that texture Friday, you allow that texture to come out, it can be chilling. And you did that in your previous take. And I like that. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea, choose an emotion. Either it's fun after school, not full on Disney, or it's dark CSI cold case file. Andrea, please.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Beautiful pacing. I love how you took your time, and at no point, my eyes are still closed. At no time did I feel like you were rushing through this. I like that. Thank you. I typically don't judge the lightning round, but if we're going to spend time, I'm going to offer you my opinion. So I like that. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Russ, you're up next. Choose either kind of a fun after school or a dark, somebody got killed.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads out to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Okay. That was suspenseful, not necessarily good or bad. It could go either way. It was suspenseful, and it's good because now I'm interested. Now I can't tell what's going to happen based on the energy of your read. It could be a Tom Hanks kind of movie where it's family, or it could go dark. So, and that's what I'm trying to say is I'm complimenting you because you have a good. Let me ask you this: were you trying to go dark or positive?
Dark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my challenge to you. One more take from you. If we're going to go dark, I want a flat read. And flat doesn't mean uninteresting and bored. It just means not a lot of lifts, not a lot of, it just Friday, July 12th, 2019. Sometimes when I do the flat read, I actually keep my hand here to remind myself, don't go heads outside to begin the day. No, heads outside to begin the day. Everything is replacement. One last take, please.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads out to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that life is about to be changed forever.
You did a beautiful job of keeping your inflection within this little range that I gave you. And that's what's called a flat read, not a whole lot of dynamics with notes. That was a perfect example. Thank you, Russ.
Thanks. I've been working on that read with my coach.
Good. Yeah. Devin, please.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
You put a little, but what he doesn't, you put a little whispery in that, just in that phrase. And I like that. This is your personality coming out. I like the human elements that you put in there. You have a nice inflection treatment too. When you do this, it's inviting. You have a good inflection for reading, maybe, I don't want to say children's tales, but typically when we're reading to younger people, we need to keep their interest by being, I don't want to say sing-songy, but fun sounding. And you have that. I like that. Thank you, Devin. Nathan, please.
Friday, July
Thank
12th,
you.
2019, as the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Your style here reminds me of animation. You know, it's kind of fun. I can almost see the cartoon that goes with it. And that's the first time. So I wrote this. I just composed this. And not once did I actually think of animation. I thought of real life actors and scenery. But as you read, somehow it changed to animation for me. And that was refreshing, Nathan, because I brought this to my students last week. So I've heard about 15 people read this. And you were the first person who read it that made me think about animation. Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Nathan.
you.
Thank you, Nathan. Leonard, please.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Nice. Very controlled. I like that. Yeah. So that felt fun to me. Now, it didn't feel like someone was necessarily going to be killed. So that, I hope that's what you were going for, kind of the more fun.
Actually, yeah, I was going for a Mike Rowe read.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Micro. Yeah. Right. Do it again. Give me even more micro. We love that. Turn up the micro, double it.
Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day, walking along his usual route. But what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Nice. What I like about this, Leonard, also, as I hear you speak, and I think I remember you from my class 2 years ago when Richard brought me in, but I haven't heard your voice in years. Again, a wonderful, just kind of neutral, what's the term that Nathan used here? He said signature natural voice. You also have a strong natural voice. I don't feel like this is someone who's trying to put on a character. So yeah, I like that. Thank you, Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Leonard.
And no, you haven't heard me before.
Oh, I have not. No?
No.
Oh, forgive me. Okay, well, welcome.
Just somewhat similar.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I see that Vincent is here, and I don't know if he wants to participate. You don't have to turn on your camera, but if you hear us, just unmute your microphone. If you're comfortable, would you like to read? And if you don't want to, that's okay. I'm not going to make you. Oh, we don't hear. Oh, we're not hearing you.
Let me get, hold on.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay, just give me a second. Let me get
Okay.
my other headset. Like
It's
this
okay.
is.
Take your time. I just thought to include him since he's the only one who hasn't read, and I wanted to welcome you to join.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. It is an honor to meet you. My
Oh.
name is Vincent. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you for participating. It's in the chat there when you're ready.
Okay. Oh, this script right here?
Yes, please. Friday.
Yes. How you want me to read it? Like sound like myself?
Yes. Sound like that's a good place to start. Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the Friday, July 12th, 2019. As the sun rises over the unassuming town of Hastings, Nebraska, 27-year-old Colin Green heads outside to begin the day. Walking along his usual route, but what he doesn't realize is that his life is about to be changed forever.
Good. And so I don't care about mistakes. Typically, when I read something the first time, it's a mess. I make a ton of mistakes on my first take is garbage. It's not even usable. So, and this is the first take that you did. So I'm not expecting perfection. And perhaps you're a little nervous, and that's okay too, because I put you on the spot, Vincent. So thank you for reading. Thank you.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in this group for a very while now.
Oh, good. Good. Welcome. Okay. Did anybody have any questions? We kind of went off on a lightning round tangent there.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about where we can find you and find more information about how to coach with you?
Sure. Yeah. I've got my website, domingovoiceover.com. Actually, here it is. Boom. If I do this, there, that's me, domingovoiceover.com. But you know what's easier is look me up on LinkedIn. Domingo, Domingo. My last name is Castillo, Castillo. Oh, it's there on the video bottom left. Look, I muted myself. Sorry. For whatever reason, the majority of my class-related correspondence happens on LinkedIn. I have had a couple of students find me through YouTube and through my website, but the majority of them happen on LinkedIn, and so that's where I do a lot of my communicating. In my classroom, I now limit my size to 5 students. It used to be 12, and then it went down to 8, and now I limit it to 5 because I feel like I can really dig in with everybody. I mean, we read 6 students today, and then obviously Michael and Vincent added, so that was 8. But typically in my class, I offer a Monday class that meets 4 times a month. So this month there were 5 Mondays. So today I'm off, which is why Michael, I asked if we could do it today because I'm actually not teaching today. So we planned this back in January. So thank you for accommodating me. So I teach either 4 Mondays. I also teach on 4 Tuesdays. So those are 2 different groups. Once a month, I've been trying what I call a one-off Wednesday class. I'm looking at my calendar here. And for just one Wednesday a month, I just put together a group, whoever wants to join me. And again, it's only 5 students. I also started teaching a Sunday course, a Sunday afternoon. I started doing that twice a month, and it became so popular that I do it 3 times a month now. But if anybody's interested in any of those options, you can message me and we can talk. March was sold out. February was sold out. April, all my classes are almost sold out. I have 2 more spots or 3 more spots available on a Sunday in April, and I've already started booking into May. But if you'd like to work with me again, just message me and we'll talk. Vincent, I see your hand.
A question. Do y'all do question? You do classes on Zoom?
I do classes on Zoom, correct? Just like here.
Oh, sweet. Because I was hoping because I don't have no LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. Well, then we can email and we can do it that way. So that's okay. Yeah. But Vincent, if you're a voice actor, I would recommend joining LinkedIn. It's free and you can connect with other people, other voice actors. I'm not telling you what to do, but what I'm saying is because through LinkedIn, it's allowed me to connect with students that I wouldn't have connected with if I moved away from Facebook. I don't use Facebook anymore. LinkedIn is the main thing that I do. So it's just a recommendation. I don't mean to tell you what to do. So to Vincent's point, you don't have to have LinkedIn to be a student of mine. So that's, you don't have to have that.
I will vouch for LinkedIn. One of the best connections that I've ever made with VO was done through LinkedIn. So if you don't have one, that's definitely a resource to look into.
Yeah. I mean, I spent my time on other platforms and it's fun. Sometimes they're not as, I don't want to speak bad about them, but I found that LinkedIn is a lot more business minded. And if
they all have different focuses.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I spend my time on LinkedIn just kind of like connecting with other voiceover people or producers or directors and just using it in that professional sense. And I found it invaluable. So if you go to my profile, you can see a lot of I'm connected with a lot of my students, and I have a lot of recommendations that I'm really proud of too. You can snoop and check it out if you like.
Okay.
Well,
and
Vincent.
How many sessions do you do? How many sessions you do? How many sessions you do for when students ask you for like a voiceover coach?
Sure. So yeah, I offer again the 4 days a month, either on Mondays or Tuesdays. So that's 4. Or I do, if some people aren't comfortable committing to that, I offer the 1 Sunday or the 1 Wednesday. And again, I'm happy to message you. I can send you the schedule if you like. So while I'm talking, I'll just tell you right now, I have the document open here. I'm going to look at my April. So my current opening in April, I've got April 18th, which is a Sunday. And again, my class size is limited to 5, and I currently have 2 students in that. So I have 3 openings for that April 18th. And if you're interested, just message me. Other than that, my April is sold out, and I'm going to start opening. I've already started booking May. I'm looking there on my calendar.
I'm gonna send you my Gmail account.
Okay, sure. Sure. Send me a Gmail. And actually here, I'll, if you like, I'll just put my own Gmail in. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. I'll put it in the chat here.
Okay, well, while we still have Domingo on with us, does anybody else have any questions, comments, anything like that?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, Russ.
Mhm. You said you liked the way I read it the first time because it was kind of ambiguous as to what would happen.
Yeah.
And then you had me read it flat,
Right.
which was different. So if I were doing that for an audition and I had to choose one, which would you choose?
I guess it would depend on what the spec. I mean, is it a fun movie? Is it an after school, or is it darker? And so that would dictate. But I remember being affected by the way you read. It was suspenseful. The last time you read it, I didn't know if it was going to go super bright or if something awful is going to happen. It actually made me interested the way you read it. So
Okay.
if you were, to answer your question, I like your last read the best of that particular lightning round.
All right, thanks.
Nice.
And
Hi, Vincent. And then we'll go to Andrea. Vincent.
question: how many? You say you do 4 days of classes a week?
The Mondays, yes, I offer 4 Mondays a month or 4 Tuesdays a month. And then sometimes if students aren't available during the week, I'm available 1 Wednesday a month, and it's typically kind of later in the day, or 1 Sunday. I offer 3 Sundays, but that you can sign up individually. And again, you message me and I'll send you all the details.
Okay, because as of right now, I have a voiceover coach right now. Yeah, and he's a nice, genuine guy, a voice actor.
Okay.
From Funimation.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, I'm looking for when I signed up for a class, I didn't realize like 1 session a month. Like I started looking at for the whole year for 12 months.
Yeah, you got to know what you're getting into. So feel free to, whoever you study with, ask a lot of questions. Ask like, hey, there are 5 Mondays in March. Are we meeting all 5, or are we only meeting 4? So ask a lot of questions. Nice. Andrea, your hand was up.
Yeah, I was wondering about the format of your classes. Since there's 4 Mondays, how do you do different kinds of scripts every day, or work on?
Thank you for bringing that up, because I didn't even address that. I welcome students to bring their own scripts. I welcome students to challenge themselves. Some who only want to do commercial, some want to do narration. I have a few who want to do promo, whether it's TV promo or movie promo. So I welcome students to bring their own scripts. I usually keep it to 30 seconds so we can really dig in and have you read it a bunch of times. I ask them to paste it in the chat so we can all follow along. And I ask students to bring 2 scripts to every class, because typically with 5 students, I go around once. It takes a little bit longer than an hour, maybe. And then we'll take a break. I usually take about a 5-minute break because I like to get more coffee. And then we come back and we read again, all 5 of us. And yeah, and I do some other fun things too in my class. I'm not going to give that away just yet, but I've started, again, because I'm still learning. Even though I've taught for decades, I'm discovering more fun things that I can introduce into class. And if that's a hook, I welcome you to to find out. So thank you, Andrea.
Yeah. Don't spoil that. Don't spoil that. That's the whole point of why we have you on. We wanted to get a taste of what you do.
Okay.
But if you really want to see what it is that Domingo does, go ahead and follow exactly what he's got. Nathan, we're probably going to have the links and everything down below as well, so you can go ahead and check him out there. Vincent, you have another question?
So basically, Domingo, you want us to write our own scripts. Is that's what you're trying to say?
You can make up your own script, like the one that you just read for me. I made that up. Or I'll provide websites. There's 3 that I typically send people to, where, well, you can just go to YouTube and find commercials. So I welcome students to find their own commercials, real commercials, but you have to pause it and you actually have to type it out. And so I welcome you to either write your own or find a commercial that you like that's online, and then you have to type it out. so we can all read along with you.
YouTube has a transcript.
YouTube has a transcript. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can put the closed captions on and you can see and you can just copy the script down.
Well, there's actually a transcript button on the right-hand side. It's not always correct, but it's a good start. And
Okay.
it just types it. It's already typed out for you. It's kind of hard to find.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Russ is teaching me something. So wait, I'm going to go to YouTube right now. I'm going to YouTube.
Oh, you're gonna make me find it. Okay.
No, this is good. I'm going to mute myself because it's going to play an ad. Hold on a second. Okay, I unmuted myself. I'm watching a camera review ad, and you said there's a transcript button.
Yeah, let me find it. I can't remember. It's kind of
Be
hard to
three
find.
ellipses, I think.
The-
Don't you
yeah.
click on
Yes,
three
the ellipsis to the right of
Yeah,
share and then
of
save,
save.
and then the ellipsis says open transcript.
Open
Oh, look at
transcript.
this. Oh, this is going to be fun. Hey, look at this.
I never
Okay,
saw
yeah.
that either. Thanks, Russ.
Oh, look at this. Good. Thank you, Russ.
Hey, that's going to make our job a little bit easier when it comes to finding new scripts and everything like that. Thank you, Russ.
And look at this. So the ... Oh, I'm
Thank you
stealing
so
that.
much.
Nice. Okay, wait, maybe I'll teach you guys something. I learned this on Zoom recently so you're looking at a picture of all 9 of our video squares. Did you guys know that you can click and redrag the order of the video squares? Andrea knew that. Look at
Well, I
Nathan.
only knew
Nathan.
that because I just figured it out this session.
So you have to, so this is what I use in my classroom.
Oh,
So for instance, Andrea, if you went first, I can drag your square and put you on the top left in first position. And this way you can remember what order I'm in. Oh, I'm 4th. Okay. Or I'm after that person. So that's one thing you can do on Zoom.
Well, I guess we're going to have to use that when it comes to reading order on the mic check.
That helps. Michael, I have a question for you, Michael, and Nathan.
Yes.
Do you still have the Dan rule?
Yes, of course we do.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. We still have the Dan rule. We have a lot of stuff that we still use that you probably ran into.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Good. I noticed none of the participants here did that. And I thought, oh, maybe that's still in effect.
That is absolutely still in effect. It's because, so I mean, it gets to the core of that's, I feel, is really important to when you're performing, is you need to focus on your performance first and foremost. You need to focus on what you're doing, because when you start listening to the mistakes that you're making, you suddenly are no longer the performer. You're now the editor and producer, and you're not in the right mindset that you need to be in. That's kind of the whole idea behind it, is we want to focus people's attention in on exactly where they need to be when it comes to performing.
Right. And so one thing I liked that rule. And by the way, you guys can dig. I think it was April 2019 when I participated in the group. And I think my only time participating, I actually violated the Dan rule. And I remember I was called out immediately. Oh boy. And so I learned, and you're right. It's good. So as creatives, so often we get in our own way. We read, and then we start trying to justify why I went in this direction. And a producer doesn't want to hear you do that. They don't want to. They just don't even. So I had to learn that, and so it's been 2 years, and I'm glad to say that I don't do that as much as I used to.
Well, we're glad that the mic check left some kind of impression on you, at least at that point.
Of course.
The other one, I don't know if we used it when you were on with us, but another one of the main things that we use is called a pattern break. Did we ever go over with that with you when you were on with us? Does that sound familiar?
It doesn't. Teach me what that is.
So what we notice sometimes is some people will read themselves into a pattern. It particularly happens when they read the script over and over and over again, trying to prepare for it. They build up this muscle memory, and they will read the script the same exact way again and again and again, regardless of how much you try to coach them. So you try to give them a few pointers here and there, and maybe it's subtle changes that they can't quite make because of the muscle memory they've built up. So what we do is what we've called a pattern break. We will give them some kind of crazy, off-the-wall, uncomfortable character that they suddenly need to read the script in. And it needs to be something like a well-known character like Goofy, or, you know, a teenage girl at a Justin Bieber concert back in 2009, you know, things like that, something that will get the person uncomfortable. And they need to read the script as fully in that character as possible. Because what it does is it breaks down that muscle memory and they become coachable afterwards.
True.
So what they built up is broken away, and you can then coach them a lot easier. So that's another technique that we use here to try to help people not over practice themselves into a hole.
Pattern break. I like that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna steal it.
Do it. Absolutely.
I'm writing it down. Pattern break. So we all
pattern
have,
break.
We all have cadence. We all have signature melodies that we reference. Even timing. We all have timing that we sometimes favor. And what's fun about working with other producers is that sometimes they'll see that and they'll suggest, and not to correct you and say that that's wrong, but they might ask, oh, try reading it this way, in a way that is not your pattern, in a way that's foreign. Oftentimes the way I suggest it, like for instance, Andrea read in her script, I kept hearing her go up, you know, for love, or no, that was the second one. I kept hearing her go up, and that wasn't wrong, but in my head I heard for all the moments, for love, forever, for all, she was going for all the moments. And that's not wrong. It just, I heard it differently in my head. And when somebody here in this group reads, you hear it, somebody else, you hear it differently in your head. And so a fun pattern break is to go, you know, if Leonard is reading, Jake is going to hear it differently. So can Jake go, hey, Leonard, try it this way. And that's not to judge the way Leonard just read it. It's just Jake hears it differently. And I want to hear how it sounds if you apply this inflection to it. And so if you're coachable, if you're flexible, producers love that. If you can kind of go this way, go left, and don't justify why you went right. Well, I went right because I thought just go left. And so sometimes we get in the way, and I've done this too in sessions. I know I've done this where it was because I was insecure. I'll have a producer who's coaching me and telling me, oh, you needed a little bit more orange. We need a little bit, and I go, well, I went with cherry because they don't care about what. Just go orange, just go. Yeah. And so that is a lesson that I have to remind myself, because again, we're all creative people. We're all a little weird. We're all flawed. Oh, yeah. We're all, and that's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice.
We like giving each other weird directions sometimes.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, one of our main mantras on the mic check is always get coaching. That's probably the most important thing that you could do for your voiceover career, is get yourself a coach, get yourself plug in with somebody that you know you can learn from, and that fits with you and your personal learning style. For me, I worked with Nancy Wolfson, and her style really jived with me. It really helped me out quite a bit. But she's not for everybody, that's for sure. Everybody here has worked with somebody different or is working with somebody different, and that's fantastic. And you come on and give us a whole new perspective that I haven't heard from any of the other coaches that we've had on as well. So once again, our main mantra is always seek coaching and training for your voiceover career. And Domingo is another feather in the cap, I suppose you could say, another tool that you can utilize to help out your particular voiceover career, because maybe his teaching style is going to reach you in a way that nobody else's does. So definitely go ahead and check him out. Domingo, thank you so much for being on with us. We're going to go ahead and end the recorded portion of the mic check now. Okay. So once again, everybody, you know where all the links are. They're down below. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Join us every Monday for free script practice. You can also find the mic check on Facebook and Twitter. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.